He's gonna get it tomorrow. No, we're gonna have a real tornado now.
No one's gonna buy it, I know.
We're not gonna believe it.
No, that's it.
I know, that's what I've been saying.
Like a little channel, right?
Leave this wrong, we'll have to fly
And
Sue, yeah.
yeah, she's the best lady.
Because you are so behind yourself to do it, that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want the fly over there by Brandy. Don't be shooting over here, Brandy. No, that way.
Oh, the rest.
It's not leaving this table, I'll tell you that right now. Dude.
Dave, as long as you're holding it, the fly won't come by.
I know, so there should be shit over here, Mark.
Yes, I know. I'll probably miss it.
Oh, sure. Here, we'll shoot over there and kill him. Shoot him over to that table. She can kill him. There's only one. Aha.
Oh, you got it, you got it.
I didn't need a fly swatter.
Don't take any notes from Morgan today.
Okay.
What, because I can do it?
Well, no, because the top one has fly
Yeah.
lines on it.
This one is for who asked
You think it
first.
might be the
This is for
fly
the
spray?
complaint.
No, I sprayed in it this afternoon.
Oh.
Do you think maybe that's what it is, or do you think it's actual?
It's our start.
But they could smell the propane. Don't know where propane would be. Oh, you know what it is? It's the fridge. The cabbage in the refrigerator.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
That is what it is.
It's
It's making its own sauerkraut.
Yeah, it's leaving.
Ooh, you can smell
Yeah.
it, can't you?
Yeah.
A little potent there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why the
Makes you hungry.
flies are busy too.
Yeah.
I thought you got rid of this fly.
I brought a picture of Guy when he was a Fonzie. Did you know he was Fonzie? I know. Is that not amazing?
Great.
His wife brought that up. I was hoping he'd be here tonight, like easy. Wow, I wish that station looked like that.
You guys survived anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But
We're
I
ready for
didn't have to say
tomorrow. We're starting on next week.
I didn't know.
in at my house. I'm here and
That's fine.
Sure.
I have, I still haven't got my car at my house.
So basically,
But you know what? I don't care.
That's really
There you go. Yeah.
We'll see.
See something on.
But they probably put it for the well, they said that when they came up, they said, found it in the back.
Okay.
So she finds out and she'll put it in. That was it. Right.
I found that address before, they put on paper something, keyboard. And it wasn't, I mean, you want to start with the next one?
I was.
Yes, very good.
Oh, sorry.
Some coleslaw tonight? Or some, nope.
I think it's starting to turn to curl, so if I just wait a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like how
Very
we're.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
turn it into sauerkraut.
Might as well.
And
I think it's starting.
But that's,
Oh, yeah, that smells like.
so I might just leave it in there. 3 or 4 hours later.
Yeah, you might be getting some other.
That's so that when you have your bratwurst, you can use the sauerkraut.
No, we just eat that, just like ice cream.
Sauerkraut, yes, good too.
Oh. Yeah. Better for you, probably. I don't know. It's better for your digestive system if you eat it raw. You cook out the good enzymes if you cook it.
It's good no matter what.
Oh, nice.
Good day. Good day.
Cool.
We'll go to sleep. Take a nap. Yeah, but, 2 days. Cat nap.
Tony, one and all. Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is new firefighter membership posts. I don't see any new firefighters here.
No, I apologize, I thought you'd be here.
Well, I've never, is this something that we've done?
This is new, I'm just trying to start a new thing, so the city council can meet the new firefighters
Oh, okay.
relatively soon, and it's a little bit of a ceremony. Lots of fire departments do this,
Okay.
and it's just kind of makes being part of the fire department a little special. A little more pride invested in doing it. So I was hoping that we could do it tonight. They're not here, however, so
Okay.
maybe next time.
Okay. And then, guests, anybody want to say anything? Okay. Once again, I'm going to separate the minutes from the consent agenda because I don't consent to it. And I got some questions about the claims. With the claims for approval, is that MSA for $3,000 on the approval list? Is that the first installment, or first time we will be paying them?
Yeah, the invoices and
I know, but I'm just saying, that would be historical.
yes,
Okay. All right. And are there any more claims besides the ones that are in the book here?
yes, and that's,
You said that there was going to be a claims list.
it's right there.
Oh.
there.
I didn't see it. But anyway, is there anything that has been added? You said new claims list.
Every month, any invoices that come in from when the agenda goes out to when the meeting is processed, they're laid on the table with the new claims list.
So all of
Procedure's been
those
that
are
way for years.
all of those are new claims.
No, no.
Okay, so I'm just wanting to know if there's a difference between what is in here and what is in there.
Okay. Any invoices that come in between when the agenda packet goes out and the meeting are listed as claims in the new list, and the invoices are added there.
Right. And what I'm asking for is, was there any updates?
Yes, there are. They're in there.
Because my understanding when it says new claims list, and it hasn't been like this for years, is that
It's
those
been
new
there since
claims,
I started.
excuse me. The new claims list is provided on the council table. So what I was expecting was that there would be a new, something that happened in between Friday and today. So, can we implement that as far as any new claims? No, we cannot.
No, the print out any
Why not?
claims, because that's the report that the program gives. So any
Well,
claims,
and you can't put date modifications in the sort and query?
so you want me to print separate ones?
Just a piece of paper that says
Well,
these are
let me
new
just look
additions.
at them.
Because so you're saying no, you won't do it?
They're on the table.
All right,
They're always there on the table.
gotcha. Nobody seems to care about that issue. Okay.
There is
And
no.
then-
We look at them every week, or
Okay.
every month,
Okay.
before the
Okay.
meeting begins.
Meeting closed, or issue over. With the Small Cities Assistance Program, the receipt of $2,782. It says for state aid for streets and construction. Is there a plan for that money? Does anybody know?
We haven't formulated a budget, which would be 28.
But how did we get that? This is my question.
It's state aid for local roadways.
So every
Yeah,
municipality.
if you look at the monthly report, the cash receipts report,
What report?
the cash control statement,
Okay.
you'll see it listed there.
That's the
Small
first
Cities
thing.
Assistance Fund,
Yeah.
and that's allocated for street improvements.
Right. But that's, and I'm just trying to understand this, you know, but we got a check from this Small Cities Assistance Program. And how do they determine that amount, I guess is my question.
It comes from the league, I don't know. It's,
Oh, it's through the league.
well, through the state. The league would have a breakdown of it somewhere, I'm sure, but Department of Revenue.
Department of Revenue, I got you. And there's some formula that goes along with it, okay. And we need to formulate where that, is it earmarked for that?
It is.
Okay, gotcha. All right. And then, one other question that I had was, on, and this happens, this has been happening for years too. Under electrical utilities, the fire administration account is, this is on page 4 or 5, but it's been on every page that's been a Lake Country Power Bill. So basically, we pay $124.47 out of the fire administration fund. Is that a fair number? I mean, what electrical utility does the fire hall, you know, lights once in a while, whenever there's a fire, the fan on the heater?
Well, the way it's calculated, because it is just 1 meter for this property.
Right.
But it's calculated because there's 2 meters for the natural gas. So the percentages of the natural gas from that building to this building, it's a percentage is taken, and then that's the percentage of the electric bill that the fire department shares with the general fund.
Well, that doesn't seem to correlate with the amount of electricity used versus the amount of gas used. I mean, because during the winter, you know, both places need to be heated, and I can understand that, you know. But during the summer, you know, the lights up and there's no fan going on in there, and
Well, then
the
the
lights go on.
percentage would be low.
What's that?
Then the percentage would be low from the calculation from the natural gas bill.
Yeah, but why in the winter time would there be an equal amount of percentage of electricity as fuel?
Well,
Be-
the
because
electric
there's-
funds the heat source.
What's that?
You need electricity for the fan on your heat source.
Yeah, and that runs intermittently.
Okay, well, I don't know how else can you calculate it.
Okay, I just was curious how that works.
I've
Okay.
explained it prior to.
What's that? It just doesn't seem like a fair amount of money that we should pay $124 for a part-time lighting in there. Anyway, so I look for a motion on the claims and cash control items 2 and 3 on the consent agenda. Motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda, items 2 and 3.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. A motion on the minutes.
You want to do it? I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion is made,
Second.
seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Okay, administration department.
Okay, the regular work, and then I organized and set up National Night Out.
Okay. I noticed on the timesheets that on the 17th of July, you put, and that was Tuesday, you put down for 10 hours. Was the office open? How long was the office open?
I don't know.
Was it open for 10 hours?
I don't know, I have to check my notes. July, I don't remember what I did July.
Well, that's what we're expected to remember, and I'm not really allowed to.
Well, I would say yes, you know, except
So-
if I went to Moose Lake or ran the errands or went to.
So the office wasn't open for 10 hours?
I don't know, could be, I worked 10 hours. Could be I was here 10 hours, or it could be that I worked 8 hours and ran the errands, or it could be over 6 hours and ran the errands.
Okay. Just curious, because I don't ever remember it open past 5, no, 4, 3, usually not past noon. Anyway, okay, anything else? I guess Dave's not here. Any word from him as far as why he is really?
We're on vacation.
Okay. responder department?
My firefighters showed up.
They did.
They did.
All right. So,
So we'll do this first.
yeah, all right.
This is Cameron Swanson.
Hello.
That's
This is
you.
Devin Torgerson.
Hello.
They both joined at the same time. And Cameron has already completed his firefighter training. He went to that week at Camp and is certified firefighter 1, 2, and hazmat.
Thank you.
Devin is signed up for fall classes to take his firefighter 1 and 2, so he will be.
Where's that at?
It's at Central Lakes College, so he'll be going 2 weekends directly versus a full week.
Okay.
And that's in November and December, I believe. So, all right, guys. Want to raise your right hand? You have your cheat sheet. So repeat after me. I state your name.
Cameron Swanson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will serve the citizens of Kettle River Fire Protection Area
that I will serve the citizens of the Kettle River Protection Area
and firefighters of the Kettle River Fire Department
and firefighters of the Kettle River Fire Department
with honor and integrity,
with honor and integrity,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all respects,
in all respects,
observe the provisions of the city charter
the citizens of the city charter
and ordinances of the city,
and ordinance of the city,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
and I will discharge the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Okay. It's a new thing. Work out the kinks.
You did well.
Yes, you guys can work on this.
There's a test later, but.
You'll have to take that memorized. Okay, thank you very much for that. July, we had 2 medical calls and 0 fire calls. I had to double check that, but no fire calls. And so far in August, we've had 2 fire calls and 1 medical call. I believe you guys have a couple quotes for gear in your packets.
Do we?
I didn't
Is
see
it?
that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
Shall I take copies?
do you want to make copies?
All I saw was the.
Sure. Okay, which please? Thank you. 2 separate ones.
Okay.
All right, so while she's doing
While she's
that,
doing that, well, I heard the siren went off several times today.
And
what's
once
that all
yesterday.
Yeah. What's yesterday?
Yeah.
After the pager test.
Okay.
yeah, it was like 8:30.
It was the storm? Okay.
Yeah, just one long straight tone.
It's not the county that set that off. And apparently, the company that installed it has gone bankrupt. So,
Stalled what?
install the siren, like to look at it and figure out why it's going off without anybody setting it off. So, Bernadine had contacted our emergency management coordinator for Carleton County. He's looking into who can repair it or look at it. And if he can't find anybody or we can't find anybody, backup company is the same company that does our pagers, Superior. Their name escapes me at the moment.
Duluth, Superior.
DSC, that's it, thank you. Yeah, DSC will look at it, but I imagine because they're coming all the way from Superior, that would be a little bit of a cost. Because they won't charge mileage for that.
Yeah.
Because if I can get pagers delivered to them without them coming to get them, it's gonna be cheaper. So that's the way I gotta go. So that's the story with the siren at this point. It's really not, it's not us, we're not setting it off, we have no control over,
Do you know why it hasn't gone off certain times when it's supposed to?
like, the pager tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carleton is still not very consistent when it comes to Wednesday night pager tests, since they converted to their new software.
Oh. Yeah. Well, there were a couple weeks there in July where
gonna go off.
They're kind of hit and miss on that right now. And I've spoken to Dylan Bridges a few times about it, and every time I've asked him about it, he just says they're still working out kinks in the software and they don't get to it sometimes. I think for most departments, it's not a big deal because they're busy enough that their pages are going off multiple times a week and they know their pages are working. Whereas for us, like we didn't have a call in July, it was kind of important that we had that pager test just to make sure everything was still working as it should. Okay, so in front of you now, you have two different quotes. One is for 2 new sets of turnout gear. And this is, I've been told, the same exact price that we got last year for this. So the price didn't go up, which is good. And starting next year, we've actually worked this price into our fire department budget. It was done this year, but it doesn't take effect until 2019.
What are you working in the budget, you said?
The cost of 2 sets of turnout gear, Nick actually worked it into the 2019 budget when he was chief. So moving forward, we will be budgeting for 2 new sets every year. So we have everybody in every year.
So at this point, that would be what, 3 more years?
Yeah. At this current numbers, yeah, it's not going to take very long.
Okay.
And then the other quote is for new helmets for the department and some new gloves. Some of the gloves, the guys, they kind of hand-me-down gloves, they're too big for them. It's hard for them to be very effective with gloves that don't fit them right. So when the Hyman Fire gentleman brought all the helmets, I asked him to bring his selection of gloves. And some of the guys wanted new gloves, but some of us were fine with what we have because they do fit and we're happy. So we've got 5 sets of new gloves and we're ordering 10 new helmets. And these are helmets with built-in LED lights in the helmet. They're about $100 more than if you didn't have them, but to buy the lights separate, like the ones we have now, are about 120 of these. So it's actually cheaper just to have it built right in. Everybody gets one, you know, we're all on the same page, all the same equipment. So I'm looking for people for both of these.
Did you have any opportunity to look at the budget to see if these were within that?
I did not.
Okay.
The last budget I had was from early July.
Because this is, you know, like $7,200, which is approximately what, 1/5, 1/6 of the budget, 1/6 of the total 45.5 that we get from the townships. So it's a considerable percentage of that. Any input on that, Bernadine, as far as the budget goes? What did you say?
That last budget you have with you.
I have not.
I don't think you bought anything financial this year. 45 or 6. I mean, you have money in capital improvement. There was kind of, you know, so you could use it. You haven't used it. You could use it.
What about relief association money? Would that be used for something like this? For turnout gear or to, or no? Or
Well, my thought is this is firefighting equipment, essential for firefighting.
okay.
This tax money should be, the money we get from the townships, this is what it's for.
Okay.
Relief association money is more shirts, stickers, jackets. Don't, you know, if families are in trouble, we
Okay.
help them out that way, donation requests, funerals for the old firefighters and such like that.
Okay.
business. Anything else?
Nothing that isn't already listed in the new business.
Well, I sent you guys an email or a text for first responders. There seems to be a conflict on the last Tuesday of this month with the budget meeting being on the same day as the first responder meeting, which my understanding is to be a longer meeting because there's our biennial training that is scheduled to start on that day. So I'm not going to be able to make it, and this room will not be available for that meeting.
I'm trying to get a hold of her to confirm that that's the case, that we're starting. I
Okay.
haven't gotten a response from him yet,
Okay.
but we'll make it work.
Right. Yeah. I just wanted to find out what's going on with that. So okay. Anything else?
Nothing from my end.
Some unexcused accident don't come. What's going on with that?
Chad? I don't know. I can't get a hold of him. I've tried. I've heard that too, but he's not contacted me or anybody else in the fire department to tell me what's going on. Kurt is working through some personal issues he's informed me of. So I've marked him unexcused because he hasn't formally told me every single time he's not going to make the meeting. He is coming to first responder meetings, however, so he's still being active to a point.
Do they still get retirement money then? They should.
No.
Isn't,
No, I'm good.
So
When
you're
I
taking
get,
care of that because
when
it's
I
supposed to
get-
be like 3 meetings and then.
when I get that form at the end of the year, beginning of next year for 2018, I'll be making sure that those guys who haven't been participating don't get the monthly credit for retirement.
Oh, very good.
One thing that happened was that Kyle and I interviewed, and that's under new business, for first responders, EMR, Jen Johnson. So she will be, she's a good candidate. She works at PP, whatever.
Who is it?
Jen Johnson, she works at PP, she lives over near Isaac, on that road, 1/3. So she's a ways up there, but that'll give us some coverage up there too. If things work out as a successful candidate, she'll get a little a little remote package of equipment to respond, from where she is, instead of having to come back here and then go back, back where she is. If it's on South Carolina or something like that. But anyway, we'll be getting into that in new business as far as her candidacy approval. Anything else?
Nothing from my end.
Okay, thanks.
As far as the Relief Association, is that still having meetings or, I mean,
We are
are
supposed to
there
have,
members?
we're supposed to have quarterly meetings, if I understand correctly. We've been meeting a lot lately because of the state fund. We don't have any retirement business anymore.
Yeah.
So, we don't formally meet as much as we used to.
Okay.
I can make sure that we only meet at least quarterly. That's not an issue. We do, I would say, informally at this point, but we can make it a more formal process. Just to be.
I was just curious because you just don't hear anything.
No,
So
and we
it's-
don't get a lot of donation requests or anything. We hear, just like everybody else, like, somebody's parent has passed, or a former firefighter has passed, or some family around the area, in our protection area, had an accident and needs, could use some assistance. And then we
Okay.
get together. I mean, basically, the fire department is the Relief Association, as we're so small at this point. So we
Okay.
get, yeah, then we basically just talk through those types of things, come up with a dollar amount for donation and take care of it.
Yeah, okay.
Anybody else? All right, building department, no Rob Cheetah, so we're gonna let's bypass that. City council.
I guess I just had a question on the welcome packets for new residents. Because there's been a little changeover a little bit in town. And that if we still have them and what is included in those packets, what information?
Diane's currently working on one, it was lost when her computer went down, so she's working on recreating one.
Okay.
Basically, what we include is information about water and sewer, information about animals, what else we put in there? Little nuisance things, we put the local utilities, like just a little welcome, you know, office hours.
Okay. Yeah, I think the animal thing is very important.
Yeah, yeah, I think there's something else from the ordinances we pull in there too, but I can't think of it.
Okay. Okay.
So, but she is currently working on it.
And then as soon as she gets them done, will they be delivered to the new residents?
Yeah, she's been keeping a list of ones that.
Wonderful.
Because they do the water and sewer applications, so she knows who's doing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, there's been a few new
Now that you
ones.
mentioned it, yeah, we kind of miss Bobby Dorn over there, huh? But there's two new here on Cedar, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess Chad 3 maybe, you know, he moved from one Cedar location to the other. But yeah, that would be a nice little gesture. Okay, anything else? Committees. What's up?
Planning and zoning, we passed, they do 6 tents campsites in the acreage over there by the wellhead. Since we decided that, or that was voted to do that, it was told to us that only 4 could be done without a shower. Is that correct, Bernadine?
Do you have the rules from Department of Health?
Well, it's for a rugged campground
Yeah.
site, it's not a
Yeah, it
RV.
states, if you go over, the way the regulation reads is it comes into effect on 5 tents and then up. So you can do 4 without meeting regulations, but if you go to 5, then there's a list of things you have to have.
Okay, so then we'd like to amend our 6 to 4, but actually just 1. Just to have somebody go out there and camp and see if it's even gonna be feasible down the line, if anybody's gonna wanna do it. It would be non-invasive, it doesn't cost the city anything. We're just gonna put a little pit 3 foot in the city ordinance, you know, for just a campsite. Set up a tent and just see if it's, before we even go on sending letters out to the public if they want a campsite or not, just to, you know, it might be mosquito ridden, you know, you don't know what's gonna go on, so. I got an ex-wife I can put out there for a night and just to see if anybody wants to sleep there.
And you're talking about on the outside of the ball field fence?
Yep, just right past it, 12 foot past it where the campground was gonna be. I mean, if nobody's gonna enjoy it out there on a beautiful hot summer night where you can see every star in the sky, then we're just chasing rainbows if, you know, putting an RV park there. So it doesn't cost the city anything, it's basically just asking permission for a couple of nights so lots of people
Any liabilities?
camp there. There,
What are the liabilities there? I don't know.
I guess it would be the same as in the city park, you know, it's virtually is part of the city park, so they camp there all the time. They camp there all during the Monpa,
Right.
so what's the difference?
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna set up.
So Bernadine, would there be a difference?
I could check into it. I don't know offhand.
Would there have to be like fire rings or something, Todd, so if they're gonna have a campfire, it's just not,
Yeah, we were gonna put
Or
rocks, we were
rocks or
gonna put, we were gonna put the rocks around
Yep.
the rim.
Yep.
You know, which, you know, we would do, just something that we could move out, but
Mhm.
actually just going to Menards, I could pick up a fire ring, so it's nothing invasive,
yeah.
just,
The rocks would probably work good for an experiment to see.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fire ring would probably walk away.
Right, but, you know, if nobody wants it, or apparently there's a neighbor over there that doesn't want anybody in the back there. Right, so,
Okay.
Any progress on land?
that's, that's at the state, from what I understand,
Correct.
and they have to approve it, and then we get the parcels.
Okay.
Those other ones that are next to you are going up for auction by the county, as well as the co-op building. And the one by the old bank over there will all be going up for auction in October. The price is, they're $12,000 they're asking for the co-op, several thousand for the lots by you, and or $5,000 for the lots by you, $7,000 for the lot over by the church.
Yeah, because I saw that co-op was there, but I didn't see any other properties that were listed on this
The-
correspondence from Vernon.
Yeah, church property over there and the two lots next to you.
You mean Tom's place?
Yeah, he gave me, I went up there, I talked to Greg 2 days ago, and he gave me a list of the properties that were going up.
Oh, okay, because I only see one property in this.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. I have it in my car if you want it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's on the agenda for tonight, the old co-op, you know,
Yeah,
but.
Mr. Jeff Dossett was interested in the co-op. He had asked, we had talked,
Who?
Jeff Dossett.
Dotson, okay.
He was interested in the co-op building, to buy it, to do kind of like we're doing with the other 3 lots, that if the city purchased it, and not where it's given to the county. That's when I came in to inquire, and, you know, found out about that. So it probably isn't gonna sell for $12,000. But,
Is there a minimum bid?
$12,000, I guess.
So nobody, so it's not gonna go?
It's not. So, but like I said, Jeff was interested in it at a cheaper price. I don't know what he'd do with it, but, you know, if he bought it, at least it would be on the tax roll. And if we do it at the cheaper price like that, that's one of our caveats, that they have to hook up the water.
Gotcha.
So, having another water hookup and another property on the tax roll would be a good thing.
But wouldn't it be to our best interest if it had a stipulation at some point in time, if it ever happened, that it had to be fixed?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that should be.
Not to let it sit there as is.
That the wall would have
it's
to
a
be-
hazard.
The wall would have to
Yeah.
be prepared, or
Yeah.
be fixed.
Yeah. When it comes to properties, we have, the city council has basically any stipulation they want to put on the property before we sell it.
To get it, you know, just where it's not the eyesore that it is,
Mhm.
you know, would be a great thing. And there is a lot of history in there too. I just noticed that picture up there. You know, it's kind of neat. It's a retaining wall. I have no experience in contracting.
It's in pretty bad shape. Is Todd Morgan still on board?
As far as
You haven't talked to him?
over here, yeah, he said that he's absolutely interested in it. He just said, last time I talked to him, he goes, you know, I appreciate what you did. If it doesn't work out, you know, for you, this was before the vote went through for the property, that not to worry about it, but he's absolutely on board.
Okay.
And I went down to Cambridge or to North Branch too, and seen these guys that are, you know, want to partner with them, and they have all these trail things, you know, these motorcycles, go-karts, they're, everything that would be popular on the trail up here. If they sell them here and they lease or rent them out here, for weekenders, it would bring a lot of weekend tourism into town. I noticed from the festival the other day that all the families that were here and with all the kids, these teenage age kids that were here was just a lot larger than I've seen for years. That'd be a great thing for them to, give them something to do. But,
It's a little dangerous. It's a little teenager, right, rip around.
well, they gotta do something, so.
That's hanging the basketball around.
Okay. Anything else on that? All right, I want to apologize, I've got it in a folder at home under the old business DNR grant, which I think you was the one that I composed and we did the resolution on. I don't have it with me, I'll get it to you. I know I said that before, but this time of meeting. It's just the grant application and denial letter and all the whatever I did.
Kind of forgot the rest of the committee.
What, I said committees?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are we done with Todd?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We did job performance for Bernadine and Dave, and then Bernadine and Dave will do each of their other employees since they work with them constantly, and know what their work history and everything is. We also went through and for the budget meeting we got we went into the pay raise for the employees as well.
Okay. Kind of got ahead of myself, I guess. I apologize. Any other committee reports? Oh, as far as me being the only budget committee member here, I was wondering when the packets for that would be out for the meeting on the 28th, I think it is, Tuesday.
They'll go out to the full council on, probably next Thursday.
So today is, what date is it? Today is 16.
24?
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Okay, this tax levy. Apparently there's some levy powers that are granted by the, I guess, legislature of some sort, that they're gonna come and tack on some, yeah, I don't know exactly where they get the authority from, but they have a resolution here that says they're gonna tack on $750,000, basically, almost $637,000 for 2019, of which Carleton County, we pays 9%, which is $57,662. What? 9%, 31. That's our tax capacity. But anyway, I don't know what this stuff does, what this organization does in general. I do, but there's a hearing. What do they call it? A public hearing on August 21st at 10 a.m. at the ARDC in Duluth, 221 West First Street. If anybody's got any thoughts on that in time.
Do you, Bernadine, know what this is for, or why they?
ARDC.
Yeah.
Well, they do a lot of things. I can get you some more information on it.
I can look at it.
Organization.
I haven't.
We've used them through the years. They paid for zoning ordinances, comprehensive plans, provided development directions. I believe the Arrowhead bus is funded by them, the transportation bus, that they have quite a things they do. So,
I don't remember.
and this is an
anything coming-
annual.
I don't remember anything coming by us for the last, since I've been mayor. I don't think. But I may be mistaken. But anyway, I don't know. Any other thoughts on that? All right, new business. Apparently, we got a $500 donation from Maynard Opponen. Who is that, John?
It was 11/27.
Okay. Anybody know why he was so generous? You know, I mean, he's just a generous guy, or what? You know, I mean.
I think, maybe he's on the Beavertown
Correct.
ship
Yeah,
thing.
he's come to the fire commission.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yeah, he took basketball's place. Okay. Well, that was very nice of him. I guess we need a motion to accept his very generous offer of $500.
Fire department.
To the fire department.
It's for the first, for the EMARs.
And,
He donated 500.
it's for the first responders.
For the
Okay.
first
Oh,
responder.
okay.
I
So
gotcha.
just so you know, that we earmarked.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Can somebody, either Bernadine or Kyle, send a very sincere thanks to this gentleman?
I have that.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you want me to sign it, I will happily sign it.
Anything else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. It appears that we're well on our way to getting the funds for the repair, refurbishment of the tower. This was put together by either the agent or the legal counsel that we hired. Is that the Freiberger, Buchanan, Smith and Frederick? Is that who we hired
Correct.
for that? Okay. In reading over this, I just had a couple of questions about, if I read this correctly, and this was what I was trying to talk about last month, was that this monies that we're having to pay back, which is, they give a schedule here every year for six years, that needs to come out of the water fund, if I'm reading it correctly. Which means that there will be an increase in the bills, if I'm not mistaken. Would that be accurate?
The decision that was made prior was to levy as the general obligation water fund on the tax rolls.
So,
That's based on.
instead of paying on, so the levy would be earmarked to the water fund? Is that what you're saying?
It would be earmarked to the water fund, as it's labeled as the water tower project of 2018.
I got you. Okay. So basically, the plan is, and it's up to us as well, is not to raise the rates. So, all right. I guess authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of a $75,000 general obligation water revenue note, series 2018A. that be correct? Anybody want to make a motion to accept this? Authorizing the issuance
The what?
the resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of a $75,000 general obligation water revenue note, Series 2018A.
I'll make that motion.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Looks like it's 3% a year over 6 years. Kind of increases in the principal amount as time goes on for the payback. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. EMR hiring. So we got Jen Johnson, and I think Kyle mentioned at the meeting, Trish, you want to become a first responder, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And Cameron Swanson, who was sworn in today, he also wants to become an EMR.
Gotcha. So I would look for a motion to hire those three on, of course, on a conditional, performance, passing all the necessary requirements of the job. Motion's made
Second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Welcome to the crew, Trish. Okay, so, to this Greg Bernoulli communique from August 2nd. Now, on the back of here, that's just the co-op building. So,
You want me to grab it?
well, we need something from Vernon.
It is from him, it's off his office, and he did it in front of me.
But you must approve sale of tax forfeited land.
So basically, we're just giving them permission to put that on
Right.
property up for sale.
Right, which I have
I have no problem.
go for it, you know.
I guess, until we have, unless he sends it here, the other properties, I mean, we can't.
Didn't you send it to Bernadine?
Yeah, but
The
you
only property
only listed the one property,
was
so. But look for a motion to approve the, what does he say? Approval of sale of tax forfeited land, and that's the old co-op building, and it's described on the back of this letter. Look for a motion for that.
I made that motion.
Motion is made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Interest in a city council vacancy seat. Now, Mr. Reel, Chief Reel, sent us a expression of interest in the city council seat that was recently vacated by Councilman Montgomery. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, dated August 12th. I did some research on it, and apparently we kind of dragged our feet in error here. We should have put it, and it states that you can't really dilly-dally when you word to use, but
Well, we did,
for appointments.
we did put it out right away in the paper, didn't we?
I don't-
We did.
I don't believe there was,
advertised for it, no.
I don't believe there was a motion or
There was a
anything. we didn't, and it said, it's stated in a reasonable amount of time, so we kind of let that go lapse, and it was our bad, so,
It's only a month and a half over from when Jason quit.
right, yeah,
So,
so that needs to be, I guess, talked about as far as filling the vacancy and how we're going to do it, because we need to do it in between now and December, because my understanding is that in November, that seat will be up for election on the ballot. So, what do you guys want to do?
Consider Kyle for the city council seat that has been vacated.
Okay. Is that the only person we're considering, or? Okay.
Why not?
the only person that shows any interest.
Okay.
I don't see anybody else sitting here.
True,
The
but-
last couple of months while the seat's been vacant.
No doubt. I agree with both of you on that, that nobody else has expressed interest, but as Bernadine pointed out, we didn't, and as you brought to the issue, that there's been no announcement, basically, so, I don't know.
There wasn't the last time, George, so I wouldn't change it this
I'm
time.
just saying, everything.
We tried to disagree with you last time when you said, okay, I'm appointing this person, and that was said and done. So why would we have to do anything differently this time?
Okay, well, there was a little bit of rubbing wrong that was expressed, so I just wanted, do it right this time, so. Anyway, so, what do you guys want to do?
I can make a motion to accept Kyle Brill as council.
Motion is made
Second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? I checked into also if there was any conflict. Apparently there is not, from the league. There's something to be said about the mayor, but there's nothing conclusive from the attorney general or any other department of administration, so it looks like it's okay to do that for him to hold the chief's seat and the a counselor seat. Now, on any kind of, he necessarily when it would be involving his purview, his authority, he would need to perhaps either recuse himself or put on one hat as opposed to another hat. There's got to be some distinction between them. That would be the only thing that I would suggest as being part of going forward. So, any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Congratulations, Kyle. You'll need to be sworn in, I guess, sometime. So, okay. Firefighter equipment. All right, so we got basically almost $7,300, $7,340 something it looks like. So my math is bad on that. And it seems that the last time that we got helmets was when we got the turnout gear, and that was probably close to 20 years ago, I'm thinking. Because I know that I got my turnout gear new fairly shortly after I got on the department, so I think it's in order. I think we should, even with our numbers being as low as they are, they should be as fully equipped as we can provide for them. So I would make a motion to for both of these quotes to be filled with the equipment and numbers attached. Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion?
I'd like to see the budget, make sure that the fire department can absorb it before we send out. I would be willing in favor of one, but for both of them, I'm not seeing what the budget looks like for the fire department.
Okay.
Did you want,
Any,
I'm sure they have money in their capital improvement, you know. Plus, I know they've been under budget on other expenses, so you didn't find.
I did find it.
Okay.
We had $500 that was budgeted for telephone that we never spent, and we're not going to spend now, so there's that. There's $4,700 left in capital improvement for this year, and there's lots of underspent budget lines that can make up for the rest of it that I don't see as an issue at all,
So another 3,000,
roughly, yeah.
we can make do without.
Absolutely. There's some of the things like fuel is, I think, high for this year, but we budget that because if we don't know how many runs we're gonna have, so we just budget that.
Yep.
But we're already into middle of August, and not having any runs in July certainly helps our fuel budget stay low. And we've spent maybe $1,000 out of $5,000 right now. So we can easily absorb that. I don't have it, yeah, we spent, I'm sorry, we spent $123 on fuel out of 1,000,
Okay.
so.
any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. There's one other thing for, and that was added to the agenda here, new business. Brian Miller sent this communique about an increase in the cost of the project due to the enforcement. He says, need change order is that the Minnesota Department of Health is enforcing a requirement to have 2 manways above the high water line on water tanks. So, without him being here, my question is that a change, he doesn't say it's a change in the rules, he says it's a change in the enforcement. So it sounds like the rules were already in place, is the way I'm reading it. And they MSA, who we hired, was remiss in the requirements for the project. It lends me to believe that, you know, we need to watch these guys a little bit closer, because they're, they should have wrote that into the specs. So there's a couple of issues here. Number one is we have to approve another $5,200 on the project. So, but before we do that, I would ask that, I would make a motion that we get specifics on what exactly MSA is going to do for any work going forward. And I would look for a second. In writing.
I'm not following.
Well,
Me neither.
well, okay, in their communique, which we've had before, they said that MSA, Brian Miller, wrote a little 1-2 paragraph email to Dave stating that their fees would be up to $15,000. Well, what are they gonna do is my question. And, because we don't have any idea what they're gonna do. And so what I would want to know is basically get something in writing, as I said in the motion, provide some quotation, proposal as to their plan of action as to what they're going to do specifically and the costs involved with that. second? Hearing none, motion fails. Okay. So, we need to approve another $5,200 for work to be done on the tower. I don't see any way around it, so I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the change order required.
Motion's made.
Second.
And seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
Do you have any of the numbers for the postal ledger that was handed in to you, if we saved any money?
No, I don't. I haven't had time to look. Thank you for reminding me, though. As well as,
It's been 2 months.
okay, I'll look at it.
Do you have any further cost savings to the city that you have knowledge of that we can save the city money through your, all the stuff that you received from the government?
Well, what I see is, not being prepared for this, but quite frankly, with the fact that I am not really kept in the loop on day-to-day operations as far as what's going on with the city, it's hard for me to determine where some savings might be had. Say, for instance, one of the major outlays of cash disbursements in the city budget is salaries. Well, I don't know what Dave does. I really have a very sketchy, and I'm not really allowed to, apparently, to talk to Bernadine about anything, or Dave, without council approval, and neither does anybody else on the council. So, with that barrier between the council and the operations of the city, I find it very difficult to make a determination on that. I'm doing my best as far as raw numbers, but when it comes down to rubber meeting the road, it's pretty hard. You know, I tried tonight to find out 10 hours, you know, on a Tuesday what's going on, and that she put down for when she gets paid. It was filing and correspondence and whatever, but I really don't know what she does. You know, so it's hard for me, and maybe you can produce a personnel report that will detail a little bit more what she does on a daily
What
basis.
she does is elevated her job, or her,
That's the standard that she's supposed to achieve or supposed to fulfill. But what she actually did on Tuesday, the 17th of July, for 10 hours, I don't know. You know, I mean, but we approved of it. So I think that there's some cuts that could be made in the amount of hours that are paid for in this city. Because as I said before, when I was mayor 20 years ago, it was utility, right? And okay, there was 2 people working for the city, the clerk treasurer and the maintenance operator, I think was the titles of the 2 individuals, and they both worked half-time. Now we've basically tripled the amount of man-hours that are there. Has the city services provided been tripled? I don't think so. So I think that there's some room to be looked at there, but, you know, that would be a personnel committee issue that I would see as being to look at that. So those are my thoughts on that. Yeah.
I'm thinking that 20 years ago, everybody paid $25 a month for water, and we didn't have any meters. And now we have meters, so that they have to have people come around to read the meters every month, which makes a big difference in that time too. I mean, before, nobody had, it was automatic $25 a month.
Yep,
period.
I remember.
So that's one of those things that's changed in the last 20 years.
Right,
That
and there was
requires
3
more
months.
time.
There was 3 months when, at the beginning of the year, when the meters weren't read, and I didn't even know. And then, you know, three months worth of bills were clogged into one, and I got a couple calls on that. So, like I said, I'm not. That's one issue that has changed.
So that takes up a couple hours, and then the person, well, Diane's job is to send out the water bills and a few other mailings, and a few other small details. So that's why we have that secondary person in the office now, because now we have to formulate a water bill to send out to everybody.
You didn't have one. I mean,
Yeah, we have to have a restroom.
See why you have one work.
Yeah, a restroom that's in pretty bad shape.
Well,
And there's no-
you can't clean with the bad shape it is.
Well, there's mold on the, still there's mold in there, and the toilet doesn't work in the men's, you know, so, you know, I don't know. And I didn't know Dave was on vacation, I don't know, whatever, like I say, I'm kind of kept in the dark about how things are run around here, even though I'm not, you know, supposed to be the mayor, you know, so, I don't, you know, whatever. And when I do try to go look at issues, I get accused of harassment, so. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Kyle,
Thank you.
What's that?
Your signature's
it's a definite
Okay.
nice thing.
Good to be with them.
Oh,
So good to meet you again.
I think you're looking to suggest that. Hopefully.
Oh, right here.
EBA.
You know, you're bad as our kids, we have to remind them how
This
they
is what my
exist.
kids, ooh, old people love.
No, they just,
Old people. That's what my kids always go,
we've
ooh.
only got one living at home now, and he tells them all the time, quit looking at my mom like that. It's kind of how you came to be, huh?
They just don't want to know it.
No, they don't, but that's what makes it even more fun.
So, and, good luck on your run.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting too.
It's my current seat, so
Oh,
I'm not,
okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
I don't have anybody contesting it. So. Wasn't expecting anybody to, but you'd be surprised if somebody did. It took them so long to get somebody to take it to begin with, I'd be very surprised, but.
You can look on the website now. Probably to look.
Oh, that's true, I really didn't. I'm gonna go in.
Thursday, can I ask you
Wait here, walk up.
Oh, sure.
I just,
Pardon?
Who made the candidacy on the ballot?
For mayor, and it's yourself and Dave Lucas. For the four-year seats, it is Chris Miller, Kyle Real, and Maya, I don't know how to pronounce her new married name. Used to be Kluka.
Nice.
And then for the two-year terms, it's Jesse Kemp and Guy Collier.
Okay.
It's gonna be a packed ballot.
Yeah.
2 former mayors going for that 4-year spot.
and who went for the 2?
It was up to whoever the people filed.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You specify that you file.
The ballots will.
Yeah, when you sign your affidavit, you state city council, their chairman, it's city council, and their just.
We were wondering.
Ernie,
Yeah.
could you repeat that? So people really run for either the 2 or the 4? I mean, they pick that when they want to do it then?
Well, there's typically,
Yeah, there's typically not a 2-year seat.
Okay, that's just
That was
because of this.
vacated because
And
you.
you're filling that, but then you're gonna run for a 4.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
This is just for now till the end of the year.
Okay. Not that I can do anything about it, but I'm still. Oh, good.
Yeah,
It's a fair question, it's a little different situation
yeah.
than normal.
how many times did I ask you?
Yeah.
You have to ask.
So really, you're looking for a long term.
I'm not going anywhere, so.
Yeah, but it's not very often that we have an unterm.
Just to let us know, we're going to start getting information and bids to see if there's a possibility of Montauk can get air conditioning into the bids. So I was gonna have somebody looking for, the numbers on that one, looking at how that would even process to happen. And so then I'm assuming that, if I get all the numbers together and the person will do it and the money and the funds, I just come to the city council and see if we can get that approved. Is that right? Do I have to go through the?
You probably don't need a letter,
Do the
but
Legion have,
Cameron
that's the Legion,
and
do they
or
have
do
an
they-
interest in that too? Do they have to be involved?
Oh,
Or
it's
their
nice to
acceptance.
see.
No.
Okay.
No,
Was at one
but
point
Jen
Mom
should
Pop
get
had
one for
interest in
sure.
the building at one time, years and years ago?
I think it was included with that packet I gave her, but I'll double check.
So,
Usually is.
What?
It's a welcome letter.
The welcome letter, the,
Yeah, but she wasn't, she hadn't been approved until tonight.
But that was part of that policy change,
okay,
that process
so if
change
we include
was that they would get
Mom
that
Pop
information.
in the vets, or the
I don't know,
Legion,
just remind you.
and we can pull
You
it
guys
together.
change that policy, because otherwise.
I can make sure she gets it this way.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time she's like officially.
Right,
Yeah.
she'll be on the department, so
That's right.
it's official.
She's gonna get it and look at the other one and go, well, what was this?
That's what it is. Nice that we're putting
And it was preemptive that
Yeah, because we're
the,
gonna do that
you know.
history kind of.
Right,
you overstepped your
I
authority.
did, I gave her the letter too soon.
So what was all the process?
It was our,
That's fine,
Was there
just so she
meeting
knows
night
that this is
as well?
official.
Oh, yeah.
because,
So they're just noisy.
so they were checking trucks, they were
Oh.
starting the truck, starting the chainsaws, starting the fan,
Oh.
making sure everything's running, because we had a whole lot of calls lately, I hate to say it out loud,
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's
Under
what
here.
the table, come on.
so we had to do a maintenance checklist, just to make sure there's air in the tires, oil, transmission,
Yeah,
gas.
because this meeting was changed because of the
Correct.
primary.
Usually we,
This is their usual now.
this was our usual night, and I
Right.
decided not to change it, and we'll just do it. That way nobody has to try to change their
Change
schedule.
their schedule.
I just wouldn't be there, so I had Isaac, our assistant chief, just make sure, told him what we needed done.
Yeah.
He's took care of it.
She says, who's that? I said, it's Isaac Grant. She said, boy, he sure looks like his
Boy,
dad.
Just a
I
little
guess.
bit, right?
Yeah.
What time's that? Looking at the young John.
And it's been that way
Wow.
since we were kids. Yeah,
Yeah, really looks like.
he's always looked, except he used to look like John, but he had hair, so that was the difference.
Wow.
Now we're in our 30s.
Ooh, smell this up here? Wood burning. I love that smell.
So, what, you're-
Well, the bright kind of wood.
Shh,
I'm
let me live in
Yeah.
my little world.
I'm 79.
I was listening to my radio on the way home. It said there was an 11-year-old girl that called when it was about 1:56. She had told the 911 operator that their house had been down and she needed somewhere to go. But they thought it was a prank call,
Good grief.
and it was. But I'm listening and I'm like, wouldn't that be something? So I house brick down, I didn't know about it, so.
Oh,
Come on, I mean,
yeah,
usually you can see the smoke, so.
yeah.
Please try to keep them in order.
Well,
And
there's,
it's just the blues, yours are just the blue.
I put them in reverse.
Crop.
Yeah, we're good.
Those
Legit,
are all
we've
the
got,
same.
we've got a big crop. Oh, well,
Or like food, so.
Whatever.
yeah.
We're gonna- Isaac just said, take it home and get it out of the fridge, so.
We've got, a big crock at home. We,
To make sauerkraut.
yeah, and we usually do, but this cuts up that having to sit there with a box of heads.
Right.
Chop it all
Right.
yourself. Well, then I made sauerkraut.
If this turns out, maybe we'll just order it from other places.
Yeah.
The box of cabbage is a little cheaper. I'm just gonna
Oh,
throw that out
yeah,
there.
for sure.
But yeah, when you consider how long it's gonna take you to chop all.
But we do, we've done it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if they're gonna fit in the garage.
We've got that.
We got
Yep.
the wooden,
See,
Yeah.
it's weird when a Pollock and a German marry because then there's
Both
sauerkraut
like
everywhere.
sour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's kraut everywhere.
Polish sauce, and steel bottle.
Well, you can't hardly eat it raw though.
Right, it's almost sacrilegious.
Oh, yeah.
My grandma's funeral on the Polish side, we had sauerkraut.
Well,
For the-
Sue
for the
Esther
meat.
makes sauerkraut soup all the time.
Sounds delicious.
My dad
And my sauerkraut soup that I make, I use, it's like cream of potato soup and then you add the sauerkraut.
what's that?
Is it in bags for you to keep everywhere?
Oh, no, these are destroying the garbage. I already need these for the kraut. But I wanted to get them out of here so they don't start to get funky.
See, last
Did
year,
you not get
Just
funky?
eat those?
last year, there was a steak
Well,
fry
it's just carrots, isn't it?
Yeah, would you like that?
after our steak
And
fry.
red cabbage?
Yeah.
So all the open steak.
You're welcome to.
We kept them here until they even wanted them.
I do not, no.
I don't know if that's.
No, you're welcome to whatever you want.
So,
Otherwise, it's just
I
gonna,
don't know, I'll ask Bob, I don't know.
But these are nice, I'll put these in the freezer and then I can keep them.
yeah, go ahead. Do you want?
I believe I've gotten everything there.
The paper bag's fine.
Okay, I just thought I'd see if there was a little, oh, there is.
A Walmart bag or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show these, because I don't make vegetable soup.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I had all those winter onions and I take them off and put them in the freezer. I got about 8-10 quarts of.
You want more?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll put them in the freezer.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
You don't want the cabbage either?
No,
I'll throw those in the freezer too.
okay,
Why
In
not?
the soup.
there you go. Look at that.
Soup
It's like
sounds
Halloween, but a
Oh, yeah, and I got a few potatoes the other day.
Did you?
Perfect.
Yeah, we have a few left.
Ordered, accidentally ordered an extra box of 100 potatoes.
Oh, in the garage, I have those squares, I don't know if they have potatoes in them. I have one that's about like this, two that are smaller. Would you like them? Sure. Okay. I'll just bring them over.
If you bring them, if you send them here, I'll just grab them and make sure they go with
Yeah.
the steak price.
Yeah, because I noticed the ones you had potatoes in were getting But the brand new one is a nice square by squirrel stack, kind of like.
Yeah, and were we missing one of ours this year too? One of ours
There were
still?
some that were, they're in there, what you keep to, because they're in the shelf in the corner way high. Somebody last year threw, we get them out there, I just was lucky enough that they landed correctly. And we just didn't have, we know where they were, just didn't have the ability
Yeah,
to get them, so